Hello,
Hi, James.
how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm blessed. Um, I see that you're doing something with healthcare. I just wanted to pop in and see exactly what it is that this room is about.
Yeah. Um, so thanks for joining me. Let's hope someone else
Thanks for
shows up.
having me. Angela,
Yes,
and
Angela.
okay, I'm making
So
sure I
it's
pronounce it right, Angela, because you look African, and Africans we spell it one way, but we say it a whole.
I hear you, I hear you.
It's a pleasure.
Um, so my name is Angela.
Mhm.
I am a Plutus pioneer, a Natal and Prism pioneer. And I've been involved in Project Catalyst for a bit over a year now. I'm a notorious lurker.
Likewise.
And I have a proposal for a challenge that we could do in Fund 10. And so that's what the global healthcare is all about. And so I was curious to find out what other people think and where other people are at with the situation.
Certainly. Do you mind elaborating a little bit more on your project?
Sure. So the challenge question is, how could the global healthcare community leverage Cardano tech to provide better pharma R&D and global access to life-saving medications? And
Mm.
it's important because currently big pharma, which is very centralized, controls manufacturing, pricing, and global access to life-saving medications and devices, and decentralization is needed. So healthcare, I'm in East Africa.
All right. Which country, if
What
you don't
about,
mind me asking?
what about you?
I'm actually in the Valley in California. I'm in San Jose. So headquarters of Silicon Valley. But I'm originally from West Africa, Liberia. Um, my mother did a little bit of traveling, so I was lucky enough to travel throughout West Africa and get to see our continent. So yeah, but currently I'm in California, but I grew up on the East Coast in Atlanta. Grew up in Atlanta, went to school in DC, Philadelphia area, and then New York. Now I'm on the East. Now I'm on the West Coast. So
Wow.
everywhere.
Wow. Cool. I'm in Nairobi, Kenya.
Nairobi. That's what I was about to say. Which country? Nairobi. That's
Yeah, Kenya.
Kenya. That's You guys are making strive over there. Like ever since
We're
Barrage,
trying, we're
y'all been
trying, we're
making some
trying.
strive. Y'all been like taking 2 steps in front and like 1 step behind. I don't know what it is to get with your leaders on that part.
We try, but we're
Mm,
in a scary, I think it's scary personally, place right now where we're just going into elections on the 9th.
absolutely, and
And
that's
so we don't know if there's going to be peace, if there's going to be war. Um, and what's it's a bit
mm, that's for the sad part. The sad part about it is that's our continent, and that is what we have to deal with. But I feel like with the blockchain technology, we can completely and totally eliminate that. Um, the
right.
reason
That's
why,
the hope. That
yeah,
is the
the
hope for the
reason why,
government.
yeah, absolutely. That's one of the reasons why I ran into your page for. I have probably one of the largest project on Cardano. Whether you ask Peter, the guy, you name one of those guys out there, most of them know me. I get on here because I'm not looking for funding. The last thing I want is to beg somebody for money. Um, how you got we are building a project for the entirety of Africa and the African diaspora. Our project is called SHIELD, SHIELD, and we are trying to shield Africa from outside influence as we develop ourselves. So the S is for social wellness. It's why I'm here for healthcare, identity, education, and legal documents. Our first goal is to give everyone in Africa a plain and simple a virtual identity system, a virtual ID. Like DID is there's no reason why anyone should pay for DID. If a company comes up and able to give the database, everyone in Africa can have a DID, which means nobody in Africa have to go through the government for identification, because globally Africans are not recognized. You come from our country, you give them your identities, certificates and forms. Most countries will not recognize you because plain and simple of the illegitimacy of our governments. So we are coming with that saying, okay, we want to give everybody in Africa a free identity. Now, the second you have a free identity, something cool with that happening is you have control of your data online with blockchain. So the next thing is, if you was to build a free healthcare database and you gave it to each, and you load the healthcare database with you load it on laptops, desktop computers, and everything. You give it free to every medical institution on the continents. Those medical institutions starts to use it for free. One, the institutions stop using papers and stuff, and they have the laptops and computer go electronically. But the second thing that it does is, being that each person have that did and the virtual identity, that healthcare system is linked to the date. So those people then have they have control over the healthcare information, which means when the World Healthcare Organization steps up, or when one of these pharmaceutical companies steps up and they need to do large data research, you now have a database in which these corporations, these companies, and these organizations can come and do these data research and then pay within the would pay the treasury for whatever it is that they did this data research on. And rather than the money going to these big third party corporations and everything like that, is divided evenly amongst everyone that was participating within that data research. So that's what we're doing with that. Hence the reason why I wanted to find out everything that you're doing, not necessarily everything, just to see exactly what you're doing.
And yeah. Welcome, Stefan.
Yeah, hi, Stefan.
Thanks for joining us.
Hello, folks. Just taking a very easy day here today, just dropping around from room to room, seeing what's going on. This initiative, this idea was very interesting to me. My partner was just talking about challenges facing people all over the world with their health, and yeah, I was just hearing what the conversation was about. So sorry, I'm a little bit disheveled. I'm not all put together this morning. It was mostly just listening and looking today. So please don't let me interrupt.
We are discussing this proposal, this challenge proposal. No worries, it's freezing here. We're in the middle of the Southern Hemisphere winter, and I am just cold. Forgive me. Everyone else is having the hottest summer ever. It is cold here. So the Global Healthcare on Cardano Challenge is a small one. We're only asking for 200,000 to begin with. And success would look like proposals for projects that use Cardano to decentralize, develop, and produce access to drugs and tech to combat critical global illnesses. It's quite a large elephant, and how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And so we're just sort of, I would love to hear if anyone has a similar or has had a proposal or has had some thoughts, where are you at with the thing, with the idea? Even if I've just introduced it to you 3 seconds ago. James.
Yeah, so on part, like I said, we're doing the healthcare part as well. And within our dApp is about six different apps in one dApp. So like one of the app is the healthcare app. And finding a resolution to everything else is easier because everything else have to do with money and generating money. NFT have to do with money and generating money. So other money boys is behind that. Cryptocurrency has to do with money and generating money. So other money boys is behind that. As far as the betterment of the human society, to say, okay, let's put our money behind healthcare so we all can live to 200 years old, to the age of 200 years. Yeah, it seems everybody runs away from that. the logic of humanity. So we at this point where we have a grand technology that can give if you take the blockchain technology and you add it on with the AI technology, it literally, you can run any test in the world. It literally, it kicks the human life expectancy. In America, the human life expectancy is 70. It kicks the human life expectancy from 70 to 140. That is doubling the human life expectancy. Free healthcare for everyone on a blockchain system, researched by AIs, and we all can live up to over 150, up to 150 easily. If you run that simulation on any AI, that's what will come up. But do humanity want to live very long and get rid of every healthcare? That is a no. So this is the problem that me and you found, because like when you ask me which project is out there, so I have literally been out looking for projects, right? You think healthcare is something that will help us live longer, everything like that. And there's 2 to 3 organizations that is focused on this. The rest of them is cryptocurrency and NFTs.
The Methuselah project, right? That's one of them.
Yeah. Which one?
Methuselah.
Methuselah. I dabble in them, but I haven't fully looked up them. One of the main ones I've been tapping into is because they are one of the company that helped build Cardano, which is Emergo. Have you looked up Emergo?
Yeah.
Yeah. They have quite a very unique healthcare system they're working on. And being that they're on the back end, it's an open source. There should be no reason, like with us, like I'm trying to figure out how it is we can build around them and with them, because there's more than one thing we are trying to get them to do. It's not just the healthcare. So because of that, we negotiating back and forth. But something like what it is that you're trying to do as far as when it comes to just pharmaceuticals, I would definitely recommend that you take a look at what Emergo have already done, because they do have a large healthcare department that they don't necessarily talk about. You know, being that they push Cardano, they help build Cardano. Is Emergo and our HK build Cardano, you know? So that's one of the project, and that's a small project to them, you know, compared to all the stuff they do. So obviously, a department that is working on a healthcare solution is not going to be as glamorous as everywhere else, but they are making a lot of strides over there. So if that's where I'm looking at right now, and I'm still looking at other, like you said, you just give me a hint, I need to look more towards that. But I will recommend that you at least give them a glance to see what they're doing over there.
The thing with the extension of life, you know, if life expectancy in the as you just said, in the US is about 70, that is life expectancy in Africa is about 50 on average. And the current population is at an average of 19 years old. And so most of Africa, which is a whole ton of people, are about 17. And so they've never been sick. They're young and healthy. They are not really thinking about what's going to happen in sort of 50 years when everyone is now 67. And so I'm not just saying that healthcare is about age. It's not that simple. But we do have a very big problem coming, and it's coming in fast. And
not just, oh, I'm sorry, Coach. I apologize. Go ahead, finish.
And our current systems are not able to deal with that. You were saying, James? Just 1 second, Stefan.
No, Stefan, please go ahead.
Yeah,
Stefan.
go for it.
Oh, thanks, guys. So what I'm doing right now is I'm frantically searching for a project that I was, you know, you spend so much time on Discord, you spend so much time reading these things, you look at proposals, and it all just starts to blur together. So I was hoping I had it organized here, but I think I'm reading the proposal here, and supply chain has something important about this. If we're talking about getting the healthcare products and or services and or people into the places that need them the most. And there was a project that I had seen somewhere on a Discord server somewhere, which I will try and track down for you here. But their whole idea is focusing on the supply chain of health and working with they said points of care in places like and then they did a case study somewhere in Uganda, and it was the points of care are mostly community pharmacies. And the pharmacists who work at these pharmacies now, these people they're entrenched in the community, they're connected to the people, and people know this is the place that they need to go to get better. But the problem they run into is they never have enough medical aid, they never have enough antibiotics, they never have enough and they don't know when it's going to be coming, and so they can't plan for that. And so this project was all about creating a network of these community pharmacies and making sure that they could buy bulk together, and that supply chain was all immutable and everything, so that they knew if they bought this many, bottles of ibuprofen, that was going to get to them in the next amount of time. So I will keep looking for this. I'm sorry I don't have the name, so just give me a minute. I'll try and track it down. But I think these are the keys that the project, the protocol, Cardano or blockchain or any sort of supply chain support will offer in terms of partnering with communities and making sure that those communities have access to the things they need to make sure that they can keep people healthy, keep people safe.
Thanks. Yeah, I'd love it if you could find that link. Do you know which fund it is in?
I would love it if you could, but I know.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and track this down. Just give me
Is it a while ago or is it this fund?
I think I honestly
no idea. It's a lot. I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, have you heard of Singularity Net there?
Singularity Net. Yep.
Singularity Net also started they have an ambassador program. So I just entered a new Discord. I was on Project Catalyst, pretty entrenched in it. And then I started to do this Singularity Net one. And now I can't remember which one I'm seeing and which, right? So just give me a couple minutes here, folks. I'm sorry.
No worries, no worries.
Good. I'm the same way. There's actually a project I'm looking for. I want to collaborate with, but I read about it one night, like around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Like I'm over here drinking coffee or wine or something, just randomly, how you just randomly read them. Like I'm randomly reading, I'm like, okay, cool, I would want to come back to this. The next morning, woke up, still can't find it. And it's been almost a week now.
Oh. Yeah, been there. So, healthcare is a mess everywhere. It's not just in Africa. It's a real mess here. But I know that it's a real mess in the US as well. And it's sort of been brought into sharp focus by COVID. And while that was one of the problems is actually COVID, there were multiple problems underneath that, which were other diseases that required long-term care that people weren't able to make it into the hospital wasn't able to care for them. That's a lot. It's been a lot in the last 2 years, and we don't really talk about the whole 1 million Americans have died of COVID. Hey, no way.
What?
Is that you, James? Are you Shield?
Yes. I'm not Shield, but we are Shield.
Okay, but
you're one of the people that I have like probably 70 to 80 people in my email that I'm supposed to like return messages for. And don't tell me I have you in my email. Do I?
Stefan,
James is Shield.
James is Shield.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on, y'all was talking about Shield? We're just talking. I've been texting back and forth. Like I'm literally doing like 4 things. I have 2 phones I'm texting on, and I'm talking to you.
Is this it?
So basically we are Shield, right? What Shield is? Shield is a nonprofit organization. It's called the African Young Shield Foundation. Basically what I did was not what I did. Ebola started in my country of Liberia. And if you know Ebola, it tear completely through the country. Now I'm one of those people that love the dark web. And and I love my country. So 2 weeks before Ebola broke out in my country, the CDC, one of the CDC largest research center, is actually located in Liberia. But 2 weeks before Ebola broke out in my country, the CDC reported that one of the test subjects had escaped and they was looking for it. Right. And then 2 weeks later, Ebola breaks out, but that part never get talked about. So it was this whole thing about blame the CDC, this is down the third, and so we started to start a healthcare system. Okay, we needed to build a healthcare system, but in building a healthcare system, decentralized. In building a healthcare system, it had to be centralized. Trying to make it centralized mean we had to give some part of it to the government, which we couldn't. I didn't want to do. I have family members in both political parties. I have my family members in, and I hate both political parties. So it's like, fuck it. I don't want to deal with y'all, and I'm not going to give you control of this. So the next thing was to go to the people in Africa who has the real power. And sister, you already know. We go to the people who have the real power. We go to the villages. So I went to the villages, and we went to. There's 12 tribes in my country. So we went to each tribe and say, hey, can we ask y'all for one representative from each one of you guys? There's 12 main tribe, but there's like 20 something others. But we went to the 12 main one and said, can we have at least one representative from y'all? We're trying to build this system, and my company, QK Solution, we're trying to build this system, but we do not want any control of it. We want to work for y'all. So y'all will have to create a foundation, and then you'll have to hire us so we can go ahead and push this proposal out on you guys' behalf. And in terms, we will go ahead and find a way to fund this project where you don't have to spend one penny out of it. And the people who go ahead and pay us, who go ahead and fund this project, even though they'll be giving charity donation, we'll make it in a way that they will end up getting all the money back and then even some, because we can back whatever it is that we're doing with cryptocurrency. So if you give me $100 today, I would tell you, you're not allowed to use that $100 for at least a year and a half. But in a year, so if you're in America, you can then go ahead and write that $100 off as a tax write-off. In a year and a half, you can cash it out with your token. So yeah, it's like a win-win. The people in Africa win because now they get unlimited amount of funding. People go ahead and fund them, and you have the people that is funded have a lucrative way of getting the money back. So we have that. So the foundation went ahead and gave us this to go ahead and plant it. So now we are planted, and so that's what I mean by the foundation is not us. When I started it first, the DApp was supposed to be a for-profit, and I can make it a for-profit. My company don't want no control over it because no matter how much we ran the test, it put too much power in our hand when it comes to the continent of Africa. And not just that, our company being a private company, I'm in Silicon Valley. There's always a chance for hostile takeover. So at the end of the day, whether it's me and my family members on the board, we know that if anyone come and take us over, we would end up being a company that, excuse my French, fucked over Africa. So we didn't want to do that. So we ended up giving it to the nonprofit organization. So now the nonprofit said, okay, they went ahead and settled in the country of Liberia and create a full nonprofit organization that's fully decentralized. It have 13 different committees that go ahead and run it, and we take our orders from them. And now we have to build this shield system. The shield, like I said, is social awareness, healthcare, identity, education, legal document, data research. So one of the first thing we had to do was say, okay, Cardano, excuse me, I love the blockchain. Now I'm gonna say something, it's gonna be messed up. I love the Cardano blockchain. The system of Catalyst is the most fucked up system ever, and it's just for the people that's inside the inner circle. And if you're not in that circle, you fucked up. You're not gonna get a penny. I am not here for one ADA. I don't want one day ADA from these fuckers. Okay, they're a bunch of egotistical fuckers that think they're smart. And at the end of the day, if you want to hack them, you can hack them and crash every fucking thing they have just for fun. Trust me, it's been done a few times if you piss the right people off. But how you
loving this fire, by the way, man. Keep it going.
But how you got it? But so with the Catalyst program, we said, okay, we are not here for the Catalyst program. We are just here plain and simple for the blockchain. The blockchain is 100% what we're here for. The blockchain is a level 3 blockchain. Majority of the people who are looking to come onto the blockchain technology currently are still looking at level 2 blockchain like Ethereum. And what they're not understanding is when you're creating anything, you have to give yourself a space, a little bit of space for growth and mass adoption. And Ethereum and all of these places. When Mr. Hawkinson did the whiteboard about 6 or 7 years ago, when we actually tried to write it in to say, hey guys, like Ethereum, we need to stop before we have to change the tire while the car is driving on the highway. They wouldn't do it, so that's when Mr. Hawkinson went ahead and put out the white paper for Cardano, and that's why we have this over here. So when most people go towards blockchain, they're going towards our level 2 blockchain, and this is a level 3 blockchain. So at the end of the day, if I would make any recommendation, please build wherever it is that you're trying to build, sister, build on a level 3 blockchain. Right, that's the first thing. The second thing is Shield is a collaborative thing, and we basically are a dApp inside of a dApp. It's not necessarily one dApp. What it is with the token allows us that anyone come into the system can then have a little percentage from the token. So what happened is the token, when we do data research, 50% of the data research go directly back into the people wallets. So to say if the World Health Organization is going to pay us $1 million to do data research in Africa, we'll go ahead and they can use our system to do that data research. Let's say Liberia. They use that data research in Liberia and they pay the system $1 million. 50% of that is divided evenly amongst everybody within the country of Liberia that have the ID system that comes with the free wallet. So 50% go automatically into your wallet. The other 50% is broken into two parts. 150% going to the African Union Shield Foundation, which is the organization in Africa that go ahead and pay us and pay everybody else to keep this program going and buy the laptops and buy all of that. 25% of that going into that. The other 25% goes into the cryptocurrency and help push the cryptocurrency up. So those investors who go ahead and say, okay, here goes the money up front for you to sponsor this. Now, by them keeping the money by them keeping the money with us, by them keeping the token, not cashing out, the more the database grow, the more they are able to gain revenue. And by backing the cryptocurrency up with the database, it give our cryptocurrency a leverage of being able to catapult very fast. Not just that, but it's a very steady way to be able to sponsor the program and not get $1 from the outside source. And this is the main thing is when it comes to blockchain, a lot of blockchain projects, a lot of people go for sponsoring and a lot of other stuff outside, and they hinder the project because the project go from being a completely centralized, and now you have somebody exterior that can pull your string to one or two points. So with us, we don't have that. We necessarily going for a few things. And one of the things that we do also in order to fund us is NFT. And each country in Africa is going to have 54,000 NFT. And that 54,000 NFT is to raise $5.5 million in Africa for each country. Each country will raise $5.5 million to buy a laptop, desktop, and to build a center. So now you have such a large project, you're wondering how we do it. So like the healthcare part is one of my reasons for coming here to see what it is that you're doing, because what we're trying to do is we more so want to take other program and bring them into us. We don't necessarily want to build everything. If you got something beautiful that you're building for healthcare system, why not us come and talk to you so that way we can integrate it with ours, and whatever it is that the cryptocurrency is making, put that for the percentage for you and your company and your dApp to be able to use it once your dApp is on a larger dApp system. And then two, your dApp is being sponsored by the cryptocurrency on the back end. And three, you can still use your dApp or whatever it is on a separate network somewhere else and all of that, So it's more so of the project that we're trying to do. It's an interactive project. Hopefully I didn't lose y'all anywhere. And if you got a question, please ask me. It's all over the place.
Yeah. Let me go with you, Stefan. What do you think?
Like, it's all very exciting, and like you've put a lot of work in there, James, and like I'm just taking a look at some of the links here now, and
I forgot one key component.
It's an issue that's close. Sorry, go ahead.
One key component I did forget is us to work and make this completely decentralized. Yes, you have the third-party company, our company over here, and you have the nonprofit organization in Liberia. But something else that we did was for this to be completely decentralized, to make sure that we're not fucking up in any way. If you look over there, you will see that we are working with the University of Liberia. So what we're trying to do is create Shield Lab, right? And when I told you about Emergo, so Emergo has a system where you can learn how to build on Cardano, right? A learning system where people can learn how to build on Cardano. So we are currently working with them on figuring how we can pay them for Shield to have Shield Lab use that program for free. So Shield Lab is working with the University of Liberia in order for them to research and help us check and balance all of this going on. And for them doing that with us, out of the Shield token, we give them 1 billion token upfront. Not just that, we then go ahead and sponsor a course. So we have the Shield Lab course, and that course is going to be, we will sponsor and pay for that course for like Emergo or somebody else to build our course for us. Now, once that course is completely built, the University of Liberia have already went ahead and agreed with us for them to make sure that course is certified. The only thing is we'll have to make sure the course is built by a legitimate organization. We had it built by one of the guys on here, which is just a regular person, but it was a little tweak as far as, because we have to go, it's a certificate, so we have to get clearance to the government, all of that. So because of that, I couldn't use the guy because he was just somebody regular that understood blockchain. So we have to scratch that. Now we are currently in negotiation back and forth with Emergo about them giving the course for the university, so the university will be able to use. But being that they also have the healthcare system on the back end, we're trying to tweak them so we can get like a 2-for-1 deal going on. But yeah, so one of our main component is we are working with the University of Liberia, so that way it's not just us or the foundation. We have a check system that is everyone with the university is able to check us, and in return, these kids in Africa, not just in Liberia, but any African university that choose to take on Shield Lab, you then now have a free course that these kids can go to, and they can take and they can learn how to build that, and they can get certification from Emergo, which is certified across the world. And now these kids have a beautiful way to generate income on a futuristic technology, you know, and not just that, but they are also independent contractors, because they are students that are watching over our system, and they can be check and balance for our system, you know. So it was using the university as a way to put a more check and balance system towards ours. So we're going very slow. We're going very slow, just like Cardano when they started going slow. But the whole thing is to add as much powerful organization as we can to the organization, because if you look at our business plan is the African Young Shield Foundation, right? And it's for the diaspora. And we are launching 55. We have 55 nation launch. Now, most people will be like, hold on, there's 54 nation in Africa. Absolutely. There's 54 nation in Africa. The 55th nation is the African Union Foundation, the African Union as a whole, right? The African Union is, obviously, we all know what the African Union is, but once we are done launching all 54 nations, we then plan on taking a shit ton of that money and giving it to the African Union and saying, hey, you have one goal to do. Everyone that have ever, since 400 to 500 years ago, that was talking from this diaspora, you now have to represent them, because they are part of the diaspora. Because that is something the African Union is supposed to do, have put in a pledge to do, but they don't have the likely funding to do. So because of the token then give us the permission to put money behind the African Union, that if a black man in America get his neck stepped on and he get choked to death, the American government have 54 African countries to worry about. If China decide to kick African people out of their homes in China, the Chinese government don't have one country, they have 54 African countries to worry about. Africa have 54 different countries. We have the most amounts in the United Nations. Yes, we don't use, but yet we don't use our power. So the whole Shield organization, if you look at it, at the end of it, is literally in order for us to activate the 55th state. The 55th state is the state of the entirety of the African diaspora, the largest diaspora within the continent, within the world. So that's so if you look at itself 55th state, and a lot of people be like, you have extra money trying to steal. I'm like, we're not trying to steal. There's a 55th state. It's the whole world. Anybody that's black is from the diaspora. They're part of the state, and not just black people, because my little sister is whiter than you, bro. My hands to God. She live in Africa. She would tell you. So it come all plain, but anyone who is represented in the continent, just like the Jewish people have like apex that represent them around the world, no government would mess with the Jewish people. It's the same way no government should mess with Africans.
Okay, James.
And, we feel like the token will be able to do so, but I'm gonna stop talking. Y'all have all the stuff, y'all look it up, and I'm glad I met y'all, because I'm definitely gonna hook y'all up, put y'all into my info, and I have direct access to y'all, and I want to know more about what you're doing with healthcare, and just put more people on, and you know, I'm gonna stop
I really
talking.
want to hear what Stefan thinks about what you've said.
I get excited. I'm gonna stop talking.
It's it's really exciting, and it's really like, it's well put together here, James, and love checking this out. And Angela, I hope those few little links, like I said, I don't have a world of insight to offer here, other than I've been kicking around Catalyst for a while. I've been working in understanding blockchain. I'm an educator, so I come at it from an education point of view and trying to teach people, trying to work with people, build connections, facilitate conversation. So I'm on a mission to just learn and take as much as I can in, and then give that out to people. So like I shared those little links there. That's what this conversation kind of made my mind pop in on. And I'm just glad I got to meet you guys, and I'm glad I got to hear some of James and yeah, Angela, please, I'm curious, and I'll be following your proposal there. You definitely can count on my votes, as minimal as they are. Every little bit helps, I know.
Oh,
So
no. Every single ADA counts.
yeah.
Every single ADA counts. Are you proposing in Fund 9, Stefan?
I'm not proposing. I have not. I've been a part of some projects, but I've never really gotten into creating my own proposal. I worked with Catalyst Swarm kind of at the beginning of when they were sort of getting sorted out, and I worked with Idea Fest and just having conversations, meeting with people. Again, educator, facilitator. So it's really about the conversations. It's really about making sure people understand what they're looking at, and creating a language or vocabulary to get it to the most amount of people possible.
Thanks for joining.
So, yeah, no, you're very welcome.
Can I ask a question though?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I do want to ask you, Stefan, a question. What is your background? As far as business wise, like
so I'm a teacher. So I teach actually middle school. So 11 to 14-year-olds. That's my day job. And so that's how I came at all of this, in terms of like, I run my own sort of small facilitation business. So like running conferences, running small experiences, soft skills, empathy, soft skills like communication, collaboration. So I've done a couple of workshops and conferences with people, going from everything from playing games to building like really elaborate big team building activities where we have, we made this one. I was part of this one organization that did it was like 600 people, and we taught them all to play harmonicas and and then we got a band up on stage, and they played a band. That was sort of the big introduction to their weekend conferences, and I think that was Bank of Montreal or something. But like, I've done a lot of little things, but yeah, working with people, having conversations, that's what it's all about. And are you guys on Discord? Can I get you added up here?
Yes.
And we can get conversations going.
Sure.
Certainly. Yeah, it's good that you're a people person. I'm the completely opposite.
When I first got into the Project Catalyst, they said, "Oh, good, we need more people from the humanities. That's what's going to save the blockchain from the technology."
Honestly, it will. It will.
No, seriously, like to be honest, with my project, that's one of our main thing that we have problem with. We have people in Africa that can do the job for us and move for us. We have great representatives in at least about 8 to 9 different African countries, like government-wise. Like, we have made great stride. But as far as it comes to like publicly bringing the project out there, you ask anybody who have been with this program for the longest and been around, or you can even go on YouTube and look up a lot of these town halls since it started. You will see my face on there just about every time. I have been on there blasting people and everything like that. So I'm 100% on this. We've been here. The only thing is we don't know how to promote ourselves. We have a project that is ridiculously big.
Yeah.
We have been contacted from everybody from M Labs to the CEO of M Labs actually contacted me after they wouldn't contact his engineering team back. His engineering team tried to get with us like 2 or 3 times. And then week before last, the CEO contacted me. I'm like, all right, cool. I will try to finish this up and put it towards your engineering team. But it's one of those things where there's a lot of programs out here that have a lot of great minds, as far as technical wise, but not faced in able enough to talk to people, anything like that. The only reason I'm even talking to you
It's
guys is
really
because
terrifying.
I'm behind the
It
comfort
is
of
a
the screen
whole
over
different skill set. There's several skill sets needed to succeed in Catalyst, and it's not said. It's sort of it's very difficult to work out exactly which skill set is needed. So I hear you about getting people behind you. And James, did you mean to share your screen?
Oh, actually no, but I guess I am.
You know it's recorded, eh?
Yeah.
James, Angela, I'm really glad to have gotten into this conversation. I was just sort of poking around different rooms, but thanks for getting me on screen. Thanks for getting me talking. But I unfortunately do have to get going. My time has come here. So please add me up on Discord,
yeah,
and I really look forward to future conversations.
Certainly.
Thanks, Stefan.
I'm ask you right now, Stefan. Thank you so much. Have a blessed one, Stefan.
Yeah, you guys take care. Lots of love.
Bye.
Thank you, bro. Blessing. Have a blessing, wonderful day, brother. Let's see. Let's go here. Yeah. Yes. So, Miss Angela, you have you really DOS discourse? Have you really tried to get in touch with us before?
No. With Shield? No,
Oh,
I haven't.
yeah. Okay, because I was about to apologize.
Stefan said he saw your stuff somewhere. I think he saw you on Uganda. Or no, wait, somebody's.
Yeah. So a lot of people, our project is way too big. It's way too big. We've been trying to put it together for about 5-6 years.
Yeah.
It's beyond extensive. I wasn't trying to share my screen, but I will share my screen. We can talk through it. And I just want to show you my healthcare part to see exactly. I do want to know where you are, because we are looking for collaborations, as much collaborations as we can get. Here's the, so let's see where we're at. Can never find it. So basically, this is the reason why our program is very extensive. The lab is a 100-year project. Like I said, we've been working on this for 6 years. We wanted to do a 10-year project, but we extended it to a 100-year project. In order to unite the diaspora, it have to be very long. It have to be something beyond extensive. So we do a 100-year project with a research group building virtual and physical infrastructure, right? The first thing is to build a token in order to sponsor everything, right? The second thing is to build a DApp, right? After you build a token and DApp, the token help sponsor the DApp and build a DApp up. After you build that, you need a way to keep the token going. Then we have our third program, which is our interstate program, right? The interstate program is, we are trying to build a highway railroad system that will connect every capital city in Africa. And I know you're saying it's very crazy and extensive, but like I say, it's a 100-year program. So if we go down here, there we go. This will be our token. The token is only going to have 18,022 billion token, right? In the year 1822 was when the diaspora slave left the United States and landed on the coast of West Africa. In the year 1822, hence the reason for 1822 billion tokens, because we're trying to unite the diaspora back. That was when the diaspora starts, so trying to unite it back. So this is broken down into a bunch of different ways. Every healthcare organization that join us, they immediately get 1,000 tokens. So for joining us, you get 1,000 tokens. Your healthcare situation, you get 1,000 tokens. Not just that, you also get a help desk. Our help desk is our program that we are is this right here. Where's the help desk? This is our med desk right here. Our med desk. And as you can see, the med desk, they have 3 backpacks, 3 laptops, 5 tablets, 3 desks and 1 computer. Each desk is going to cost us $40,000. In each country, we are putting a total of 20 desks. So we're getting 20 desks for each country, 20 educational desks. So the education desk is just like the same thing. We're doing like 30 or 40 laptops, 30 tablets, desktop computers. So each desk, each country will be given all of these. So in the country, the amount for the country is $5.4 billion that we'll have to raise for each country. In order to raise that, in here, each country, each African country gets a fund of development fund right here. Each African country gets 5.5 billion tokens for a new market. So that's 302.5 billion tokens. So every time we open a new market, how you got a 5.5 billion token is released, and 5.5 billion token is to raise $5.5 million. We should put our token price when we enter the market into 0.001 of that. So we have a way here to build up this. But when I said the railroad system, you were shocked. So the railroad system is down here. Like I said, we're trying to put it for the 55 diaspora. So over here is our railroad system. When the token go from 0.0001 all the way up to $1, okay, I need to do that. When the token go from 0.001 all the way up to $1, once the token reach $1, right? This is a treasury that is locked up. Inside of this treasury is 555 billion tokens. So 555 billion token is locked. It would not be unlocked unless the token reach $1, which could take a year, it could take 5, it could take 10. Once it reach $1, it's unlocked. And once that unlocked, each country in Africa get 10 billion tokens or $10 billion in order to build a railroad system from their capital city to the nearest capital city around them, at least to the nearest border of the capital city around them. So that's that. So like the plan, if you go through our plan, it has just about everything to fully breaks it down. Our healthcare is up here. The healthcare system is basically the same thing. We're trying to create our free healthcare database in order to push everyone through. Our main thing, one of our main things we're trying to figure out what you is doing working with you is each country that we enter, we starting off with a minimum of 20 of these. But the goal is to continue to give each country more and more packages. So hence the reason why to figure out who's doing healthcare and who's trying to spread healthcare through there, so that way we can work with them, so we can know where to distribute all of this from. You know, because it's once you do cryptocurrency, the money comes in fast, and when the money comes in fast, people want to see results. The better results that they see, the more they will buy the tokens in order for it to go up. Hence, yeah. But that's our healthcare part. It's a massive project. I'll be more than happy to share this with you if you want. But yeah. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Any questions?
A ton of questions. A ton of questions, but it definitely fits into some of our key metrics for this particular global healthcare on Cardano proposal, which is the number of proposals that democratize, decentralize, or broaden access to life-saving or life-improving drugs and devices, and also the number of proposals that focus on improving healthcare outside of the geographies currently housing the headquarters of the big pharma. And so in those two ways, it fits into this challenge. And if by some miracle, this challenge is able to get into Fund 10, this proposal would absolutely fit into that. You'd probably have to make it a little smaller and not so much about railways. But
no, we can individually break it down. Like I said, I'm sure it's
you need
6 different parts. It's 6 different parts, which means 6 different databases. We can break it down.
So I had a question. Privacy.
Privacy.
What are your thoughts concerning healthcare and privacy?
My thoughts concerning healthcare and privacy, I think it's something that we really have to worry about. But being that we're doing them more decentralized, it makes it better. One of the reasons for us giving these DESK to the schools, the hospitals, and all of that is for us to ensure that you just don't have one place of putting this information. We have the information stored on these different devices. Like the med desk. The med desk have 20, 30, I think, there's it, tablets, tablets and laptops, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you have 11 devices, 11 separate devices over there that you're given to that one place that you can store the information on. So you don't necessarily have to do your centralized storage. And as far as any more centralized storage goes for each country, we also have the construction of the center. Each country will have a center. It's going to cost $500,000 to construct a center in each country. And these centers is basically everything to do with Shield, whether it's your healthcare, your identity, and all of that. And one of the things that these centers are going to have is a form of small database, but from a small centralized database, so that way we can have at least 54 small centralized database in each country. At the same time, each hospital have its own little data, and each school have its own little database. Everywhere has its own little database. Hence the reason for us giving the packages, because one of the main things that we ran into was, but the people don't have that much stuff. So what will we do to safety and the security? So our main thing was to try to give as much places for us to store the data as possible. But other than that, when it comes to more security, to be honest with you, that's what the expert is for. Runtime verification, one of our main people that we have that we are trying to partner up with, we negotiation with runtime verification. Those guys are pretty good at breaking things. If you build it and you want to see if there's a hole in it, those guys can break it. So how you got it? We have done a lot of different checks for as far as security and stuff, but I plan on using them for our beta test is 12 months. So at least for 12 months, we're gonna try to see how much they can break, or if they can even break it. So I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm an expert on database security or data security, because I'm not. I know a minuscule amount of information, but people like runtime verification, we are partnering them, bringing them in order for them to take care of situations like that for us.
Because you're going to have a real situation. They're trying to get 1 billion people's information stored somewhere. And
Yeah,
then not just stored somewhere, but stored privately. That's going to be interesting.
So, exactly. So, but that's the reason why you got the foundation for, right? So when we built these centers, my company QK Solution, we just contracted to build and to do all of this stuff. One of the main reasons I'm doing this for free is because my company is going to do this completely free. We don't own none of this stuff, and we're doing it for free because we want entry into Africa. The second we built this in each African country, the government have to look at our company and say, okay, if you're able to do this, what else can you do to improve our country? So we're not necessarily going to be owning the information. Information is going to be owned by the.
We'll own the information.
Each person own their own information, but as far as the storage area of the information will be stored within the centers, and on each database as well. And this stuff is owned by the foundation, and the foundation is ran by the people. Every time you activate a country, there have to be a minimum of 13 individuals from that country that has to join the committee. The committee currently have 13 members on the committee from Liberia. Like, we picked everybody from a general to one of the former judge. Like, we have good family in Africa, so we're able to stack the bowl with some very, very high accredited people. So from there, the second part that we have right now, we have 13 members from the university that will act as committee members until we can activate another how you got another country, and the more country we activate, every country activate, you have 13 more people come onto the committee. So so the committee is not necessarily ran by one person. It'll be very hard for any one individual or one single entity to control the committee, because you worry about 13 people from one country and then plus 54 others. So yeah, the foundation will run it.
It's
but
interesting. How did you go about picking 13?
How did I go about picking 13? Well, one, as far as most foundations goes, when you come about committees, you have at least 7 major committees that you have to go with for any regular nonprofit organization. And then after that, we are building a technology company. So we had to put committees in there for technology companies as well. We have to put committees in there.
Didn't you say something about 13 tribes?
Yeah, it's 12 tribes.
12 tribes?
Yeah, it was 12 tribes in Liberia, and then 12 tribes, and then 20 something else other tribe. But these are all 13 committees that we have. We had to put certain committees on there to go along with our data stuff, like data oversight committee. How you got it? Our legal committee. It's not just to handle our legal stuff; it's also to handle any legal situation that go on with our legal database itself. Our healthcare committee is to help overlook the healthcare database as well. So all of these committee is there for that. But one of the main reasons why we had to do 13 is we had to go with an odd number, because currently when you're doing votes, I need the number to be odd, so that way it can never run down even. It will never be an even vote. It always have to be an odd vote one way or the other. And then the total number of committee members after you add all 54 countries together still be an odd number. And they put a balance into it, because if you have 3 to 5 committee members in each country, they are easily influenced, but 13, it means that each country have to influence at least 7 people, and that'll be very hard.
My worry with that was, you said tribes.
Yeah.
What did you mean when you said tribes?
So we have 13 tribes in our country.
Because, for example, in Kenya, we have 43 tribes. So how would we pick 13? You know what I mean?
It wasn't necessarily to pick. We wouldn't have 12 tribes. I did 13.
12,
the 13 is more so that people in the country have to pick individuals to represent them on each committee that have extensive background on that committee, extensive background in that field of the committee. So, like the healthcare committee, our current healthcare committee chair is a doctor. Like the rest of the other 53 countries, we are not going to accept anybody but a doctor on the committee. It's just simple as that. I'm sorry if you say it's elitism or anything like that. If I'm going to have people making, if we're going to, there are certain rules to be on the committee. If you're going to have people making decisions for the for healthcare, you have to have people with extensive amount of healthcare background. One of the problems with the American democratic system is because you can have any Joe Schmo become a representative, and they make dumb decisions all the time. We see it every day. So at the end of the day, each committee, there's a certain criteria to be on each committee. I would say the only committee that is hard to look for the background on will be the ethics committee. It's the only committee where it's hard to look for a background on. In the ethics committee, I went with Mr. Victor, because everybody in my country decided to hit him, because there was some money that came up, a lot of money came up, and his political party could have easily just walked away with it and ran away with it, and most of them tried to and did so, but he pulled it out and pulled everyone card. So I'm like, shit, if you risk losing every one of your friends just so that you can do the fair and ethical thing, shit, might as well lead our ethics committee. So it's not necessarily we went to the tribes to pick the committee. The tribe was to pick the foundation, was to give the okay green light for the foundation. The reason to go to the tribes for is because I don't believe in talking to governments. I don't believe in talking to African government. African government are puppets by Europeans. Each African country that we plan on entering in, me and the people from QK Solution plan on being on the ground ourselves and talking to the people in the villages and in the tribes. Want to meet with every tribe and every tribal leader and talk with them. That's the whole thing about Shield and the Shield Foundation doing so. It's because at the end of the day, we would like to be more powerful, not more powerful, but more of a representative to the people than the government are. So, yeah. I guess that's my spiel on the committees. I don't know. but yeah, this is the current committee. I have some extensive people, everybody from a lawyer to our security council. The head of our security council is a colonel. How you call it this? Let me see. The largest political party is ran by this guy right here, the nominating committee and membership party. If you look up Mr. Amin, ECOWAS is the people for the 15 countries in Africa, the 15 West African countries. It's called ECOWAS, and he is a very strong arm on ECOWAS. So he's somebody to know about nominating people and membership because he's been around in that with 15 African countries and been around 15 different African country leaders for a while. So we put him on the nominating team. So it's like little stuff like that that we are doing to ensure that the power goes in the hands of people that will actually know what the hell they are doing with the power. Round one, after they set up, me and my company completely step away from it, and we have nothing to do with it. We get like for 22 years, it's a 22 years contract. For 22 years, we get 10% of whatever is made from the database, right? Let's just say healthcare data research there. We get 10% of whatever the foundation makes, because that 25% the foundation gets, out of that 25%, we get 10% of that, right? And that 10% is divided into the companies and the organizations that put together the foundation, like AOHK, Import Output, the company behind Cardano and Emergo. Those two big companies, like we trying to get them to be part of us. So that 10%, they obviously getting those part of that 10%. How you got it? So far, it's only like I think 6 or 7 companies we're trying to work with. So that percentage is going to be broken amongst those companies. But yeah, once we step away from it, these guys run it and we don't run nothing. So yeah, and I'm nervous about that part, but shit, that's what comes with growth. But I'm sorry if I bored you or kept you too long.
No, fascinating. I really love seeing the rise of Pan-Africanism in a practical document.
Likewise, it's beautiful. Like one of the main thing was when I brought this idea to my mom. My mother is the person that walked me. My father was a former senator. Me and my father didn't have the best relationship because I was over here in the state. My mother had an extensive amount of political background out of West Africa because of family ties. So she will only walk me through it after I came up with a how you call it a welfare system. That was my challenge. Like when we came up with the healthcare database, she's like, okay, if you can do that impossible, can this give a welfare system in Africa? And that's exactly what we got this for right here. And when you said Pan-Africa, that was the main thing behind the whole Pan-Africa movement for our part right here. This data research. We call it our DRIP, DRIP, our data incentive program. It's our DRIP program. So the data research program is basically just all the data, giving people money for the data that's being used. And we would like to give this monthly. Every month, we would like to, QK Solution would like to go out there and find people that want to do research in the continent of Africa and actually do this research for those people and actually find money and then take that money and put it back into the hand of the people, like really start the Pan-African movement. Like that was one of the first things of the Pan-African movement would to be able to find a way to educate our people with outside influences, which is creating a welfare system through our people. And that's the whole D part. Like it took a while to come up with the D part, but putting all of that together, create that Pan-African, that start of that. Ooh, you said the word, it just sent chills through my body. That was one of the main parts. It's like you have to bring back that Pan-Africa movement, because if you think about it, you said something very key earlier. You said about the age of the Africans, right? The age of the Africans is 17, 18, 19. We have the youngest population. Not just that, we also have a large continent with an extensive amount of resource. So much resource that the people who make everything, they sneak into our country just to steal the resource out of our country, the Chinese, right? So if we have all that resource, and then we have our military system is cheaper than the Chinese military system. It means we have the resource, we can build the factories, and we have 17, 18 years, we have the youngest workforce out there, which means for the next 30 to 50 years, we literally can be the manufacturing center of the world. But we need that jump start, you know, like in that jump start, I don't know where it's going to come from.
I know, right? You and
But
me. That's it.
I
That's the jump
just want
start.
to do my part to push that jump start
Gotta be
on.
the jump start.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now,
We've gotta do this.
yes. Now I have. You say you have a background in healthcare, right?
I don't actually. I have a background in coding.
In coding. You have a background in coding. Okay.
And I'm
This
interested.
whole time I thought you was a doctor. This whole time I thought you was a doctor.
I'm not a doctor, actually. No.
That's what the pause is for. I was like, I'm giving you like the most doctor respect, put my shoulders up and everything.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
If I was a doctor, I would use it in my name.
That's what's up. So as far as the coder part go, I'm looking for somebody to send this to look this over and collaborative work. I came up with this plan a while ago, like I said, for Ebola, and then when Mr. Hawkinson left Ethereum, I left with him. And the next thing I know, it rolled out into all of this over here. It's a massive, extensive project. We have did the check and balance for everything, and we are going on very strongly. As I said, we got the partnership with the university. We have a lot. I have done a lot in the background, and it's a lot of work that is going on and is being done. And I'm at the point where I slowly been putting the right people into the right places, but a CTO is something I'm looking for, and I would love to send this plan to you, this proposal to you, this white paper to you, so you can look it over to see exactly what it is that we are doing, and to see if you're interested in it. The interest would not necessarily be for this proposal or the foundation, because the foundation is in Africa. It's a nonprofit organization that's in Africa, but the CTO position is for QK Solution. As you see, the QK Solution is everywhere. It's for this company. And this company have a 22 years management contract with the blockchain. And that would be what the CTO position will be for. And
Can I ask which blockchain?
We would like to be built on Cardano.
So which contract do you have? Which contract are you? Okay, you don't have to answer that.
But yeah, we haven't necessarily did the contract with nobody yet. There's few things that we're doing. One, before
what do you mean when you say 22-year contract? That's what I'm asking.
22-year contract. So basically the foundation, since these are elders and everything, the foundation was like, okay, in order to build this, we need somebody, because a bunch of elders in Africa don't know what they're doing. So this is like the board of the foundation is almost like a shield company, you know, and we are a management corporation. I come in and act on this behalf in order to build this. The committee watches over us to see what we're doing and get the money out and everything like that. So for 22 years, we have a 22 years contract with the foundation in order to build this. The 22-year contract, it don't fully activate until we start the lab in the university. I personally wrote that into plans so that give us all this time in order to set up, and we don't necessarily have to activate our contract. And the reason for that being is because at the end of the day, there was no cryptocurrency behind it. Now we have cryptocurrency behind it. Everybody wants to jump on board and help us. You know, we have the University of Liberia willing to get us on board and already have something with us saying that they want to use whichever identification system that we want to use. We're in negotiation with the entire country. And then not just that, but we found a way, like I showed you, we found a way in order to, you can give us money, you can write it off as tax write-off, a year later, come back and get that money back from us. You know, so being that we're using cryptocurrency in the form of a philanthropy and still giving a gift as tokens, you know, philanthropy, give the nonprofit organization $100. A year later, we give you give $100. We'll give you $100 worth of token. You can use it a year later. You can cash it out. You still have your $100, and you get a tax write-off. So because of that little uniqueness, we have had a lot of people take a look at us, and also because we have the university, we are trying to work with the university. We have a lot of people taking a look at us, but having activated the contract, nor have we fully jumped into it because there's a lot of stuff that we need to set up before we fully do everything, you know? And that's all of this stuff we're going into right now. It's beyond massive, it's beyond extensive. And I do not have a CTO. I'm in the Valley. The thing about being in the Valley is there's not a lot of techies. And since I can't do everything and I have to do project manager, everything here, it's like I need the CTO, and most of the people who could play that position. And majority of the CTO job, like if you look into our business plan, is the first $300,000, you're taking $60,000 and giving it to our HK. And the CTO just have to be somebody that can talk, that our HK can talk to, you know, or giving money to Emergo to build the healthcare part. And Emergo need to be able to talk to a CTO to say, hey, is it something that we can do, and the person be able to understand it. But the main thing about it is, being that we're building something for the diaspora, I have to be careful who I hire, because when we get in front of like the African Union and these African countries, and they're talking to me or the CTO or this, they need to see that we are not outsiders coming and trying to take up all the information all at once just because we are funded, you know. So hence the reason for that. So two things. One, we don't have money to pay up front, not that much money to pay up front. What we do have is a lot of tokens. And how you cut it so we can give that out. Also, shares within the company, shares within QK Solution. But I'm gonna stop there. I can go ahead. If you shoot me your email, I can share you the document to the white paper so you can read it over, figure if there's something you want to get into. QK Solution, this is the only project we are focused on currently. The only project we are focused on is this over here. And yeah, that's it.
Cool.
All she has to say is cool. Dang, talk about absolute chill. You know, yeah, nonchalant. I mean, my palms sweating and stuff. You over here extra nonchalant.
You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Sure.
But,
Send me an email.
all right. If you drop,
mind if I already attached my Discord? Do you mind Discord first?
yeah, Discord, of course.
It's in the chat.
See. If I only you knew how to use this thing. I'm still sharing my screen, you know. Yep, I am. I just realized that. Discourse, where do I go to Discourse?
All right, James. Gotta go.
Right. You gotta go. Pleasure. I'll definitely send this to you, and then we can go from there. Thank you so much. You have a blessed day.
You too.
Thank you, man.
Thanks. Bye.